What's up, everybody? How's it going? Happy Memorial Day. Thank you for tuning in and listening. And I know that not everybody celebrates Memorial Day. Mostly people from outside the United States, I would assume. I found out, like, on my little podcast, little stats, that, like, a couple of people, either tuned in, clicked on the podcast by mistake. Either way, I hope you're back. There might be somebody else from outside the United States, but either way, happy Memorial Day to people in America. And then outside of there, I don't know if you can hand out coupons for a day off, but here you go. Here's your exemption. You can take the 3-day weekend, whichever one you want. Just say, hey, this kid from the Dawson's Crick podcast, I don't know if you listen to it or you know about it at all, but he said I could take a 3-day weekend off and just see how it goes. I mean, here's the thing. We live in a generation now where we're just throwing things out there and seeing if it sticks, whether it's a new idea, a new whatever, just throwing it out there. People just try out something and then people either bat it down or like, you know what, that's actually a good idea. Let's start doing that from now on. So I think a coupon for a day off of work would be a great idea. And I think we should establish that in this generation and make steps. We already have mental health days, like take a mental health day off. I think that's what they call it. I don't know. I work in customer service. People take those days off all the time. A mental health day. Like, oh, why are you calling in? Oh, you can't come into work because you need a mental health day. You're a little stressed out. Someone cut you off in traffic, and now all of a sudden you got to turn around and restart your whole day. I got it. We're not tough anymore. It's fine. We're already low staffed. You might as well, yeah, fine. You know what? Everybody take the whole day off. We're just going to shut down this establishment because everybody needs a mental health day. How about that? Happy Memorial Day is what I'm trying to get at. It just makes me think, because I know Memorial Day is, to celebrate the troops, to be in remembrance of the lost in battle and stuff. And just thinking about that, everybody has a different Memorial Day, remembering different aspects. And I'll be honest, mine's not all military based. So, I love the military. Shout out them. They're doing stuff that I can never do. I can never join the military. I could never. Okay. They've tried to get me at a Hobby Lobby a few times out in the public. They noticed I didn't go to college. They're like, hey, come on, you want to? And I'm like, no, it's not for me. I can't be at the front of the lines. If I had to, if you drafted me, I have no other choice. But I'm just saying, like, you're brave. So, I appreciate that a lot. Memorial Day is different for everybody, though. I'm also just, in memory of, like, just, my childhood, what it's like to be on Memorial Day. I don't know what you typically do with your family. I think it's more of a family day, too, in that aspect. People go to the lake. I know that a lot, at least where I'm from in the South. That's what we did. We went to the lake, got out the tubes, your little ice pops, the little boat, everything, and just go out there and on the lake all day. I'm talking getting burnt to a crisp. That was our Memorial Day. That's how we celebrated the troops. We celebrated the troops by going on a swim out on the lake, tubing around. Honestly, you have to be a little bit of a brave to get on the tube, especially with the psychotic dad that I had. He had no mercy with the tubing. I don't know if you've ever been tubing or on a tube, but I'm not even talking about behind a pontoon boat. I'm talking on a boat that's heavy horsepower, and he's just going 60 miles an hour while just like with 12-year-old kids, 12, 15-year-old kids on the back. Yeah, we're young. We don't know a lot about life yet. We haven't thought about death a lot. That's what I know for a fact. But I remember my first time ever thinking about death, and that was whenever I was starting to tube behind my dad's boat. That guy had no mercy. Okay, now will I admit, did he have a couple of beers in him? He might have. Okay, I'm not saying, he probably did. Okay, I'm not saying that's a great parenting by any means, but what I'm saying, I'm just stating the facts of what was happening and going on. So he was a little looser behind the wheel, and he would, do donuts, make these big waves, and then you just go flying out of nowhere. And I remember in that moment when I'm in the air, holding on for dear life, and the panic that they see on my face, but then the smile my dad has on his face as he knows he's about to kill his own kids, tubing. it's different. So happy Memorial Day, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. It's different for everybody. I love it. I love Memorial Day. Or I love any day off, honestly. Get a 3-day weekend. I know banks love it. Banks love any excuse to get a day off. I mean, they get days off that we never... I don't even know how bank tellers make a living, honestly. They just go to work when they want to. It's National Lollipop Day. Guess what? They're closing down. They're shutting their doors. Everybody, they can't cash. You want to cash a check on National Lollipop Day? Tough. We're a bank. We're just going to close. There's no, no. Sorry. You're going to have to wait till tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's National Hug Day. Well, guess what? We're closed that day too. Thanks, banks. I appreciate you a lot. So I bet you banks, they're really enjoying. They probably got a 4-day weekend for all we know. But Memorial Day, I love it, man. I love it. I mean, it's a lot of memories with that aspect. It's different now. Being older, and Memorial Day just hits different. But yes, sitting in the memories, because that's what memorial. Just sitting in the memories, just remembering things. And I one thing that I didn't remember on Memorial Day is. I'm about to go on a week trip to we're gonna stop in Nashville, do a show, then Kentucky do a show, then drive up to Indianapolis for the CCA conference, which is the Christian Comedian Association. I didn't even know that was a thing, but shout out to God putting that together. That's awesome, and so I'm really pumped up because I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just praying that God, connects me with people that, he wants me to connect with. And that's really what it is. I'm just going to go down there for the experience. This is just, awesome. Just being, invited to go do it and participate in it. That's super sick. And so we'll just see what happens, man. And we'll make it happen. So in the midst of that, I have to pack. And I don't know what kind of packer you are, but I can just tell you off the bat that I'm not the greatest. I'm kind of a woman when I approach my packing. I way overpack, 100%. I know a lot of dudes when it goes to like the summer camp and stuff like that, they just have a duffel bag of 4 days worth of clothes and they just make it work. Me, I'll be honest. I have to have my little nail clippers. I gotta have like my certain hair products. I pamper myself a little bit. I'm more of a feminine guy. It's fine. Well, I was raised mostly around women. My dad wasn't, he was working a lot. So I didn't get taught a lot about manlyhood, but keeping the nails good, keeping the hair good. Shout out to my mom and sister. They kept me prepped and pampered at all my needs. So, I shout out to them for that. But so I have to pack a little bit more, and I'm trying to not pack as much this time. I want to just get a duffel bag going. Just a week. So I'm not trying to do a whole lot, not pack a whole bunch. It's just super overwhelming. And going about that process, it's tough. And I realized that I didn't have enough underwear, not only to bring, but I ran out. I don't know if you've ever ran out of underwear, but that sucks. It hits different. When you're free balling in 100-degree weather at a bus stop, and I don't know about the women, I don't know about the ladies, I don't know what y'all call it. No balling? Is that what's it called? We got guys that free ball, girls that no ball. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, ladies, but guys, I don't know if a lot of y'all have been in it either, but from firsthand experience in it, it's tough. It really is. I had to quickly, pack up all my stuff. And go do some laundry a little later last night. Get on the bus with my laundry, and I'm telling you, my balls were just sticking to my legs, just like I was just trying to, I was walking different. That's what it was. It was making me walk weird. People were looking at me a little differently when I was walking on the bus, but that stuff is like tougher than command strips is what I'm trying to get at. Is you need to put that behind like picture frames, just some skin, some ball skin at least, and just put some water on it, and I'm telling you, it would stick to the wall for a lifetime. I can't promise you that you'll get it off, but it will at least stick on there for a lifetime. So who needs command strips when you got some ball skin? And so I free balling, man. It was different, especially out in public because you're like, everybody knows that I currently don't have underwear on right now. Everybody knows it. I know they know it. And when they don't care. I was like, dude, I got to put some deodorant down there, They might be I was thinking way differently whenever I had absolutely no underwear. So it was a complete different experience going to the laundromat. I don't know if you ever been to a laundromat. I didn't before I moved out here, but it's an experience. I support going to a laundromat. I love it. You get the quarters, you go over there, you put your laundry in. It's a whole atmosphere. It's a whole experience. But with my neighborhood, a lot of the times, trying to talk to people at a laundromat, there's a language barrier. So it's a lot of like olas, que pasas, and then that's about it, And then you're kind of like every so often nodding your head. I love the atmosphere. You got to go try out a laundromat at least one time in your life. It's a nice experience. But Memorial Day, free balling. I didn't know those two things could correlate together, but here we are. Dude. But, dude, I don't know. It's also making me think of just how not tough we are anymore. Like, just as people, as a generation, we're not tough. Memorial Day is just another instance of just making me think of, like, how much of a man I'm not. Because, I read stories in the Bible, like the Old Testament. Those guys were men with the swords. They'll come into villages and stuff. What'd you say, God? Did you say I'm going to win this war? They'll come in and they'll just go in with confidence, win, hold up the head of somebody. Be like, yeah, we took off the Philistines, man. We made them run. And then I read another story, some other war happens, just some, man things go down. And I'm over here going, well, how can God use me, man? How can God use me? I'm nowhere near like these people. The apostles, the prophets, I'm nothing like these guys. Because I like to relate. Like situations to relate. And it's hard to take some Bible stories and relate them to your current life because, number one, it was a different time, but also, like, I'm just not as tough as they are, Like, even the women in there, they were tough, man. They were, like, walking for miles to go get some water and stuff, and I'm just over here in aisle 8 trying to get some hair care products because my conditioner's not working out. I got some dead ends going on. I'm trying to figure that out. Trying to get some vitamins. And these guys over here just, got stabbed in the leg, got a finger cut off, being kings of countries and stuff. It's just, it's hard to compete with, is what I'm trying to say. It's a Christian today is hard to compete with a Christian back then. If you look at the first modern church, the first church that was opened up, you got Paul, all of them, they're going to spread the gospel. They're like, man, all of them got stoned. Or like persecuted and whatever. And I'm just like, man, it's hard to live up to that nowadays. I get a bad look on the bus. I'm just like, man, is this my day? I saw a guy, he was sharpening some throwing knives on the bus. He was just sharpening them. And I was like, what is going on? Who let this guy on the bus with some knives? He was just sharpening them. Who knows? He's more of a man than I am, I guess. Throwing knives are pretty scary. I might have to use that for self-defense instead. That is pretty tough. But yeah, as a generation and just as in modern times, I don't know. I've just been thinking a lot more just of how not tough we are. With AI coming out, I don't know if a lot of people know about AI or have read into it a lot. I know people are having fun with it, like ChatGPT. And all that kind of stuff. It looks fun, You're having fun with it. You're typing in stuff, I know kids that were doing it for their essays, and it's just fun to have like a little fun with it. You type it in there, something cool pops up. But I'll be honest, I'm kind of scared of it. I'm kind of hesitant. I think this generation we need to start thinking about old ways of doing stuff and kind of like bringing back some old ways. At least I feel like the more that we get technologically advanced, the worse it's going to get, because we're going to become more dependent on the technology, and we're going to not be able to fend for ourselves, in a speak. I mean, if the power grid goes down, we're all done. You don't know how to drive to work. If the GPS system, dude, GPS goes down, guess what? You don't know how to get around all day. You're going to be done. You're just going to be sitting in your house because you're like, okay, I mean, I can't get to work today. I can't go to the grocery store. I can't go anywhere. I don't even know what a street sign. No one looks at street signs. And so I feel like we need to learn how to read a map, bring that back to school. We need to learn how to incorporate, just learning how to, some basic survival skills just in case something goes down. I mean, I don't know if people are still paying attention to the war that's going on over in Russia and Ukraine and stuff, but I pay attention to it from time to time. I just want to know what's going on just in case, it gets my brain churning a little bit. I'm like, oh man, what happens if like a World War III happens, and people just don't think about it. And then whenever it does happen, I mean, everybody's just going to freak out. I think we need to calm down on the AI and calm down on the technology and, incorporate some old ways of doing things. I just don't feel like we can fend for ourselves if something did go down. Like no one knows how to make a fire anymore. No one knows how to drive without a map, drive without GPS. No one carries cash. I think, and I'm over here sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just saying if something went down, I just don't think that we as a society or we as America really could fend for ourselves and figure things out. But I think that's when the South will get a lot more respect. I think the South doesn't get a lot of respect. I think we get trashed on a lot. I've just been getting that here just being in Phoenix alone. I've never been stereotyped so much until I moved out to Phoenix. I've been stereotyped so much. Like, I tell them I'm from Arkansas, they immediately think I'm dumber. One person thought I didn't have to wear shoes in public school. Are you kidding me? I had to wear shoes. No, I didn't know. No, I didn't know how to wear. No, I didn't have to wear shoes at all. I was just Tom Sawyering it all throughout school. And I decided to move out to Phoenix. And I was like, wow, this is what a pair of Converse feels like on your feet. No, they think, we're racist. We're lower. We're lower on the intelligence scale. We're just a bunch of, just hicks, banjos, overalls. I mean, people feed into the stereotypes so bad, at least here. I never had any stereotype in my head about a Californian. I never thought, I knew they were more a little democratic, okay? A little bit more on the blue side, but that's about it. That's all I really thought about them as. I was like, all right, cool. I know there's Hollywood, celebrities, that kind of stuff, but I didn't really have a stereotype for them. And I started thinking about it. I was like, man, you know what? I need to have this combat thing, to hit them in their face a little bit before they come at me. If someone from the West Coast comes up to me and goes, oh, you're from Arkansas? I'm like, oh, you're from California? Oh, really? Really? How's it working, Mr.? Oh, is the universe doing great for you? How many crystals do you have in your car? All right? I actually have a backyard. You just have homeless to look at. How about that? You look down on everybody all the time. And I have nothing against the homeless. I just I just don't know what to do about it. Love on them, pray about it. But no, stereotypes of the South. They live on it. Eat, live, and breathe. I didn't really like coming from a small town. I didn't like the small town that I was in, but now that I'm out here, I appreciate it so much more. I'm like, okay, keep hating on it. Oh, keep hating on it. But when things go down, when things go south, you're going to be looking at the South. I promise you. I promise. You crap on us all the time, but wait until the day that you need us. Whenever the power grids go down, and then whenever, your technology is gone, your car doesn't start. Oh yeah, I bet. Oh, when your car doesn't start, you have to take it to a mechanic. Take it to all that kind of stuff. No. You can't do it by yourself. Oh, no, you're going to be looking at everybody in the South. You're going to be all, look, man, I didn't mean it. Okay, I knew that you wore shoes in high school, in public school. I knew that I was just kidding. Oh, yeah, you're going to be kidding, all right, whenever, World War III comes. You don't know how to fend for yourself. You don't know how to read signs. You're so used to, your phone. I feel like an 80-year-old talking right now, but it's just facts, okay? Give the South some credit. Give us some credit. And it's fine. No, I want y'all to keep hating. Like, I'm from Arkansas. Keep hating it. Keep hating it. I've heard so many things. No, keep hating it. Because whenever I want to retire, I'm going to go back to Arkansas and it's still going to be cheap. That's my point. Whenever I want to go back, it's just still going to be cheap. Whenever I want to retire. So keep hating on it. That's fine with me. But, yeah. Taking these mental health days. Mental health days, man. Not for me. Now, we need to be a little tougher nowadays. Just people need some life. Just have that little bit of experience because it's just different nowadays, man. No, I'm tired of having to explain myself is what it is too. I'm tired of having to explain myself. That's why I like the laundromat. It's peaceful. I feel like I can go in there and a laundromat is a laundromat. I go in there, people are smiling. You look at them, you're like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And they're like, oh, it's cool, what's up? Hey, oh, you don't have a couple of quarters? How about I lend you some? Oh, cool. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to explain my background or where I'm coming from or who I am. I can just go into a laundromat and just be treated like a normal person. And what's sad is people got church hurt. I got it. We all got it somewhat. I've been to 5 churches down here in Phoenix, and all of them just, it just hasn't worked out. Sadly, it's just one thing after another. I don't know. I don't know. It kind of just starts with, I don't know. I've always had this hard time, even as a Christian. I even have a hard time wrapping my mind around why we have so many different denominations. Why do we have 200 different flavors of Christianity? We got Dr. Pepper, cherry Dr. Pepper, cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper. And then we got someone coming in trying to be a Pepsi. I don't know. We just have so many different flavors of Christianity. And we all should have just one goal. Bring people to know Jesus, love Jesus with all our hearts, He's our Lord and Savior. And then go spread the gospel. It's that simple. And love others. I think people forget that part, loving others. I see it all around me. People just simply not loving one another of where they're at. They always, I always feel like I have to explain myself or other people have to explain themselves. You might be feeling like that, why it's hard to make friends. You might have to feel like you have to explain yourself all the time and it just gets annoying, It's not like a laundromat. Laundromats, there's not like a different vibe every time you go to a laundromat. They're all the same. There's not different flavors of laundromats. You don't walk in one laundromat and get treated different than another laundromat. They don't have different things going on. Oh, here at this laundromat, you have to light a candle before you start doing your laundry. That's what we have going on over here. Oh, you have to sing a song this way at a laundromat. That's what we got going on here. You just have to sing a song different, and no. We dance over here at this laundromat. Oh, cool. That's awesome. So you have to dance the whole time your laundry's going. Oh, really? Cool. That's awesome. We don't have mega laundromats. Laundromats that are so big that you just are like, wow, this is overwhelming. I don't know. This is a lot to take in for a laundromat. And so I think... there's a lot of denomination drama is what it is. And we just I don't know, man. We just need prayers about it, honestly. I feel like as Christians, Uh, I don't really know where to pinpoint it at. Just keep praying about it. If you got church hurt, just keep pushing forward. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't go to church on Sunday. I didn't go. I wanted to take a break. I just was like, man, I got another church on my list that I'm going to go try out, but I'm just like, before I go, I'm like, dude, this is a lot. And I don't want to go in and I feel like, I have to explain myself again. There's nothing, God's good, that has nothing to do with it. I've always lived on this mentality of choose community, live the gospel. That's always what it's been. Choose community, live the gospel. That's what my church back in Arkansas was all about. And so I just don't know what to do when you try to choose community, and community is just so hard to just, I'm not being too picky either. It's just like I feel like I have to just explain myself all the time of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, why I'm living my life a certain way. If you're glorifying God, just go for it. Do it. Why not? Go do, if you want to be a juggler, do it to the glory of God. I don't know. You want to be a bus driver, do it to the glory of God. Whatever is on your heart, go do it to the glory of God. I really don't think there has to be an exact formula or this cookie cutter, kind of thing. I feel like people are just hard to accept when someone just comes in with a little bit of different perspective on life. I think that's what it is. It stinks because I just, it just stinks, man. That's really what it is. It just stinks. I have no other words for it. Because it's a whole new experience for me. Because, I was blessed enough to be able to walk into the church in Conway and just walk in there and just be like, yo, this is where I need to be. This is awesome. And I come out here and it's just different, There's so many different, flavors and stuff, and they're all like, biting at each other. And I'm not saying that back in Arkansas wasn't the same thing, but it's just like, oh man, a Baptist doesn't like a non-dom, and non-dom's like, oh, you're Baptist, and oh, what is this? Pentecostal? I'm just like, dude, just love each other. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm just ready for Jesus to come back is what I'm trying to say. Okay? I'm just ready for Jesus to come back. I told my mom that, and she was just like, Are you okay, Dawson? Is your mental health okay? Do you need to take a mental health day? I'm like, I'm fine. I just think this world is. I think every young kid, that's one thing. Okay, that's one thing. If you live in a small town, I heavily encourage you. Don't, or just live anywhere. I encourage you not to just stay in that spot. Go experience some life. Go move out. If you're going to college, go to a college out of state. Why not? If just move around. Experience life a little bit. Because I think that'll help you grow a lot. People with these like small town mentalities and stuff like, and I have nothing against that. If you stay in a small town, get married in the same town, your kids go to the same school, that kind of stuff, there's nothing wrong with it. But I just feel like, your brain can kind of get jaded with it. You don't really know what, the outside, outside your little realm's like. So then when someone comes up to you with a different perspective, you're like, what? I've never heard of this before. I've never been taught that. Well, of course, because you've been in this same area the whole time. And I encourage it, especially if you're young. Why not? Go for it. I'm doing it. I haven't died yet, and life's tough. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it for you. No, that's why everybody's so afraid. They have something on their heart they want to go try, but like they're afraid to go do it. No, go do it, man. Come on. You only live once, man. Come on. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Whatever's on your heart, pray about it. God's gonna open up an opportunity, and you just gotta go take it, no matter how scary it might be. And out here in Phoenix, it's been tough. I've talked about it before. And, I didn't want to wake up this morning. Or I didn't want to wake. I had a hard time. I have been having a hard time sleeping. I just have a lot of things on my mind, and just, you just have a hard time sleeping. And so I've been taking some melatonin at night, and melatonin. Oh, I love that stuff. Melatonin. Do you want to, I can take 2 melatonin, just take some melatonin. I can sleep anywhere. Put me on a hammock on the next to an interstate. I can sleep there. I'm knocked out. Melatonin. Melatonin is amazing. I love it so much. Melatonin knocks me out so well. Like when I see someone throwing like a knockout punch, I call it street melatonin. That's what I call it. I saw a homeless person throwing street melatonin. He knocked somebody out. I don't know if he was homeless, but he was fighting. At the bus stop. I don't know what it was over. It could have been a bus pass. It could have been over some altercation, but he was throwing some of that street melatonin, and that guy was out. It's a wild thing to see. But I love melatonin, dude. It knocks me out. It knocks me out. I wake up, and dude, I have like those creases on the side of my face. Oh, when you get a good sleep when you have those creases on the side of your face. I have the wildest dreams. Wildest dreams on melatonin. I'm trying to remember one. Lucid dreams are the best. It's like a movie that plays in your head. I'm a full advocate for melatonin. What's even crazier is people. I've been told that people try to take melatonin and it doesn't even help them go to sleep. It doesn't help them at all. People are like, oh, yeah, I've tried taking melatonin. It doesn't help me go to sleep. I still have a hard time sleeping. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, the only other thing that I can think of that can help you go to sleep is just, there you go. You've been tranquilized. There you go. Have fun sleeping for 3 days. Catch up on some rest. That's crazy. If you can't sleep on melatonin, that's nuts. Like, I don't know. Your brain's just wired differently. But melatonin, 100%, I vouch for it. So if you're having a hard time sleeping, this part of the podcast has been sponsored by melatonin. I'm not getting paid for it, but I am getting rewarded with sleep. So shout out to the melatonin. You go get that in stores. I actually get paid for every time I say the word melatonin. So that's why I'm saying it a bunch. I actually just love saying the word. I actually get a little tired saying the word, just melatonin. I'm kind of just a little woozy and a little sleepy. I mean, thankfully I got my iced coffee from McDonald's. Oh, I love it, but sometimes they make it way too sweet. Way too sweet. I mean, it's not worth losing a foot. I'll be honest. I mean, I like it sometimes, but there's just iced coffee at McDonald's is like you're playing Russian roulette whether it's going to be good or not. You always tell them, hey, can you like cut down the sweetness like in half? And they're like, oh, I gotcha. And then they just double it. Somehow it always comes out way sweeter than what it originally was when you asked for it not to be sweeter. It's like the opposite effect when you go to these fast food establishments. You always got to tell them, hey, can you make it extra sweet? And then they'll be like, oh, sure. And then it's just no sweetness in it. So I think I need to go in there with this reverse mentality mindset. Yeah, but so melatonin, dude, it's some good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, go for it. I know everybody's going through some stuff. Loneliness. That's it's not a new feeling for me, but definitely being out here, trying to find a place to make a friend. That's all I'm asking. I'm just trying to make a friend. That's all I'm asking. So, just I'm praying for everybody out there that's going through the same stuff that I'm going through. I'm not trying to be like, oh man, poor Dawson. I know. Here's the thing: is I know that if I'm going through it, someone else has either been through it or going through it right now, currently. So, my thing is I'm just wanting to hop on here and encourage everybody. Like, if you're going through a tough time, dude, come on, let's go, man. We're in this together. I think there's not enough people doing it. I think people level, like, for example, someone's going through something, especially with some Christians. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying with some, you tell them that you're going through this, 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 and this, and this, and they almost look at you like a Job. The story of Job, whenever all these bad things would randomly happen to him, and his friends came up to him and were like, dude, I think you did something wrong. I think you made God mad. I think you did something to make God mad. That's not necessarily true. It's not. Sometimes people just go through a hard time. It's just life. Sin of life, it sucks. And so I think a lot of people have looked at me like a Job situation. I haven't had the best things that have happened. And, I try to explain to people the things that have happened in my life and whatnot. And they just, I just feel this weird kind of like, oh, man, you've been through a lot, instead of like, loving on each other. It's kind of more of like a, why did all those things happen? Dawson, well, that was your fault. I think, I think God was a little angry at you. And I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Bad things just happen sometimes. It stinks, but it makes you stronger. I'm telling you this much, I've grown. I went back and listened to a little bit of a previous podcast because, like I said, I love doing these things because it's like an audio journal. I just go in here and I just spit whatever's on my brain, whatever is going on that day. Hopefully some people listen to it. It's entertaining, but also I want to leave a little bit of motivation in there. A little room for Jesus. And I'm not saying that I don't want to I don't know who's all listening to this podcast. It could be mostly Christians. There could be a few atheists that are listening to this. But what I'm saying is like, with all the garbage in life that you're going through, and everybody's trying to fill that little hole in their heart with something, everybody goes and leans on a relationship. Or they might go lean on alcohol. Or they might go lean on drugs. They might go lean on whatever. I'm just telling you, dude. I've been down those roads. Then I found Jesus. That's all I'm saying. And so, take that as you will. Just leave here with the motivation of that. And in general, I'm just, I want to love on everybody. And I think that's the big key that I'm trying to push right now. Is I felt the back end of it before, and I know other people are feeling it. And my goal here is I want to just be able to love everybody like Jesus loved people, and also spread the good news. Jesus wasn't even like, I feel like Jesus was. Now thinking about it, he was probably, it seemed like he was questioned a lot. He was questioned a lot, and he wasn't accepted. And that's tough because the dude, he did nothing but be nice. If you take like literally, it's I don't know. It just kind of pops in my mind if you really think about it. So I don't know, man. Love on one another. That's really what the big thing is. I think. To end this thing off, I want to bring up Ephesians 6. I think this is a good time to bring up the armor of God. Put that thing on there. I teach at I don't know why I got put in this teaching position. I didn't put it in a resume or anything, but I guess I just got recommended for it. But I work at a Bible camp, a summer Bible camp, and that just means that all these kids go there. They know there's going to be a heavy Christian influence. While they're there. And, honestly, these kids are all from all backgrounds and all whatever. I mean, there's kids that don't even know who Jesus is. There's kids that know of him, that were raised in it. There's also kids from all different kind of denominations and all whatever. And it's nice. Honestly, I like having that because we don't have enough of that blendedness. It's just all constantly tension all the time. And so I have the honor of being in the teaching role sometimes. I switch off with a guy, and I started off teaching, and I just got thrown in the fire. I didn't know I was teaching that day, and they just threw me in there. They're like, hey, Dawson, we need, you're going to do the Bible study today. And I was like, all right, cool. And I dusted off the armor of God, and I think, I need it. We all need it. And just, I'm just going to read off a few verses that I read off to the kids. And it's preschool to 7th grade. I love talking to, like, just having like the same lesson, but you have to talk about it differently. Like with 7th graders, you can kind of get a little deeper. You kind of get, the armor of God, kind of break it down, see where they know, whatever, break down their knowledge. Pre-K, you're just going like, hey, man, think of something that's super strong. They're like, grizzly bear. And I'm like, yeah, that's how God wants you to be. Get in the Word. And so I like that evolution of just seeing how kind of like that battle of like teaching these kids different ways of learning about the aspects of God. Because sometimes like the Bible can get very, very, very deep. There's definitely like an age barrier there with some things that you might not want to show the kids. And so until they get a little bit older, and so you kind of like gotta like break it down, But you know what? I gotta give kudos to these kids though, because a lot of them are a lot more mature than you think they are. I think just with technology and this generation and stuff, it's like they just know a lot more. Like I heard these fourth grade girls, they were talking about how they're on like antidepressants and stuff already. I'm like, what? In fourth grade? Fourth grade, I was playing with a stick outside. I didn't even know what anxiety was. I was just outside playing with the stick, using my imagination. Dude, I loved using my imagination. Have you ever used your imagination as a kid? Oh, I would get so mad when my mom would just enter my room while I was just playing with Legos and Hot Wheels. I was in my own little world. Some part of me I wish I could just unleash that again or unlock that again. But I just, you older, you kind of lose that, you lose that imagination ability, and it, transfers over into something else. And that's why I think comedy is a good outlet, because, you're using your imagination, but it's just different. But yeah, dude, if you use your imagination, like for example, if I have kids, they're going to play outside. They're going to play outside. This stuff, the phones and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I feel like we're going to have to go a little bit backwards before we go forwards, if you know what I'm saying. These kids are getting way too knowledgeable, with their age. And I don't give credit where credit's due, but also at the same time, it is also very, like, technology is just very overwhelming for me, much less probably those little kids. And so I'm just saying they're going to go play outside. They're going to use their imagination. Dude, use your imagination. That's such an underrated time, and such an underrated like thing is going and just like, girls, you got the little Barbie dolls or whatever. Guys, you got the, you're pretending you're behind a tree and you're just, dude, I loved using my imagination. I loved it. It was so, usually like I'm outside, I got a stick, stick that, I think it's a gun, I'm outside, I'm battling aliens or whatever. I'm behind a tree trying to dodge stuff. I'm rolling around in the leaves. I mean, I love that stuff. I love it so much. I put war paint on out of the mud in the ground. The neighbors think, here's my thing is like, I would love to go do that now, but I'll look too crazy. They're like, there's a psycho that's outside right now. He's like, some man is playing with a stick. He's hiding behind trees and stuff. You can only do that as a kid. You can't use your imagination as an adult, which kind of stinks, man. Like, I'm trying not to lose it, okay? And that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to always have that little kid side to me. I think that's what, every adult needs. I feel bad for, some people. They get married and it's over now. I'm like, what do you mean it's over? Like, they just act like they're too old now. Oh, I can't do those things. That was before I was married. Nah, dude, if it wasn't too weird, I'll rip out the Legos. I don't care. I'll start building something. I'll be a kid all day. That's why I love doing this Bible camp stuff, because I used to be awkward around kids because I never was raised around them. And then all of a sudden, just, coaching the flag football team, and then now getting this opportunity to work at this, Bible school camp, and then it'll turn to an after-school program after the summer. I've just come to realize of just how awesome it is, and just like why it's so awesome to be around kids all the time, because you literally just get to act like one. Because if you're an adult around kids, like, it's normal to act like a kid. You just can't do that out in public, which sucks. I mean, I can't go outside and use my imagination anymore. But with a kid, I'll pretend I'm a Obi-Wan Kenobi, just straight. Give me a stick. I'm fighting him with a stick. Let him win. It's fun. Use your imagination. Don't lose it. Man, I loved it so much. Loved it so much. Man, I'll pretend I'm in a band. Take pots and pans and just start pretending I'm in a rock band. I miss it. I miss it so much. It's all right, though, because it may be in the past, but, you know, dude, God's got something. God's doing good now, baby. You know, I'm getting to use my imagination all the time in jokes, so it's awesome. And so never lose that imagination side. It's so fun. But, like, this is what I read to the kids, you know. I said, therefore, take up, we're starting in verse 13, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 13. We got, therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all, to stand firm. Stand, therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and as shoes for your feet, having put on the readiness given by the gospel of peace. In all circumstances, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying at all times in the Spirit with all prayer and supplication. In layman terms, you know, there's the individual, you know, pieces of armor that we need and that we have. You know, you got the sword. You know, hold on, sword of the Spirit. Is that what that was? You know, I got the reference pulled up right here. Hold on, I got to type in armor of God. Armor of God. Images. Yeah, we got the belt of truth, shoes of peace, helmet of salvation, shield of faith, breastplate of righteousness, sword of the Spirit. I mean, I needed to look up how to live by it. You know, I had something in my head, and it just didn't work out in my head because I should have had this pulled up earlier. But it's okay. I got it pulled up right now. Let's see here. Belt of truth. Stand firm with it. So, you know, be in truth. Breastplate of righteousness. You know. You know, I don't know. Looking at all these, I just know of what I need to work on. I need to be in the Bible more. I need to be in the Bible more for sure. I need to have that what's it called, the sword of the Spirit. Yeah, I need to have that sword of the Spirit better. I think I just haven't been getting in it as much as I need to, and I've just been letting things get to me more than what I need to let them get to me, you know. And instead of giving them to God, I kind of dwell on them. And, you know, kind of things that, you know, with the churches not working out and them giving me, you know, just this bad, you know, vibe kind of thing. And it just stinks. You know, it just stinks. So I just want to leave with that encouragement. I'm not going to go through a whole heavy, like, Bible study on it. But, you know, look up the armor of God in your own time. I just want to use that as you know, strengthen yourself. You know, shield of faith. I feel like I love the shield of faith. That's what I'm trying to get at. I love the shield of faith because that's what I feel like that I'm kind of living in the season I'm in right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm enjoying my life. You know, one minute I'm just up here, you know, I'm like, man, I have a good show. I have a good set. I'll come home. And then the next day I'm like, sad about something. I'm just on this emotional roller coaster, and I'm just like, man, why am I feeling this way? You know, what's happening, God? What are you going to be doing? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm like trying to focus on all these things, and I should just be, you know, having that shield of faith and just keep pushing forward despite, you know, all these objections being thrown at me. And that's what I want to leave you with encouragement is have that shield of faith. I don't know what your leap of faith is going to be today or tomorrow or what it is, but just go do it. Go do it to the glory of God. Why not? Don't be afraid of what other people think. You'll be surprised. Maybe your closest people may not like what you're doing, or they might question you at one point in your life. But if you know in your heart that you should be doing it, then guess what? You prayed about it, dude, go for it. Jesus was in the same shoes. People questioned him. People wondering why all of this. He knew what he was doing. And it's the same thing. Everybody's journey is different. I think that we need to leave this off with just everybody love each other. That's really what it is. Everybody love each other. Okay? Love each other. Before I leave off the podcast, I want to thank everybody for listening. It means so much for everybody tuning in. Leave a review, leave a comment, tell me how you like it, tell me what you don't like. I mean, whatever. Just give me something to let me know that you're listening. I appreciate all my listeners. I want to thank you for the subscribe button to let you know that whenever I drop an episode or drop whatever, I'm trying to post more Instagram reels and post more reels of like my stand up and stuff. So I'll be looking for more of that in the future. My social medias will be linked in the description, as long as with my email, Bible verses, that kind of stuff. And so I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to episode 65 of Dawson's Crick. And I will be seeing y'all sometime next week. I'll be seeing y'all sometime next week also, by the way. I love y'all. And I just want to leave y'all with that I love y'all. And, whatever you're going through, I'm praying for you. And that's another thing too. If you want to email me something, go for it. It's all good. But, I'll see y'all next week sometime. Thank y'all.